Okay folks, welcome back to Maypole Farm, and what is going to be a second take at this video. Now there are benefits to this for me and disadvantages. The disadvantages are that it is now even hotter in the room that I record in, and the fact that I've got to go through doing this again, and I've just wasted the last hour because my recording software screwed up, and I'm going to be going to check in a minute that it's actually recording, and so to tell you what happened before we get into the other benefits, disadvantages, about half of the clips that I recorded, the screen was blank. I think because somehow 2 copies of OBS opened and only one of them was capturing the screen, which is really annoying. Or capturing the game, and so I think it was alternating as to which one was actually recording. Don't know how that happened, but very annoying. Yeah, so that's messed that up. So I'm just going to go and quickly check that this is recording, and I'll be back. Okay, that seems to be working. So yeah, the recording of the entire video went wrong. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because the whole video was a bit of a mess. I think I mentioned last time I had planned to do forestry in this video, and I had some issues, so I'm not going to repeat that. Anyone on here done forestry recently? Put your hands up. You at the back. Did you have an issue trying to limb trees? So I cut down a couple of trees. I brought the plot that I'd mentioned I was planning to buy, and I cut down a couple of trees, and you know, try to do the usual trick of you run along the tree with a chainsaw to limb the tree. And before I wanted to cut them up into sellable size logs, and I couldn't. The small annoying twigs wouldn't go, and I have no idea why. And so essentially my plan was to do a little bit of small scale fun forestry, because for some reason I've got a bit of a hankering to do some small scale fun forestry, and it wouldn't work, and I've ended up downloading. I was going to use a big tree harvester, and I kind of debated that, but it was going to cost me the best part of 20 grand to lease one of those, and ultimately I just don't feel like doing forestry with one of those. It's not what I had in mind. You know, my intent was to do a bit of chainsaw work, and kind of work on slowly clearing that plot of land, cutting some trees down and turning it into a grass field, slowly replanting some of the trees as well, because red tape means we can't just do bulk forestry clearance. That's going to penalize us a bit. And what I ended up doing instead, and what we're going to ultimately end up doing in this video probably, is fertilizing the big grass pasture, because that needs doing as well. So yeah, bit of a weird experience overall. I hate recording videos twice because, one, it wastes time, and I'm not a fan of having time wasted particularly, and also it feels a little bit stale the second time. You know, it's never as good doing moldy video. So yeah, and also I'm never sure if I've said a thing in this version of the video or the version I've recorded before, so I end up worrying that I've said the same thing twice in this video, and it's all a little bit weird. And I also had some issues with getting around the map. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have those this time. And so we'll see. And I'll talk about those when I come to moving around the map. So I need to feed the cows because one of the cow pens is essentially empty. So we're going to do that. I then want to load up all of the slurry. We are going to start making some rather delicious brown milk eventually, because I'm going to be using one trailer for moving slurry, digestate, and milk. I know. Realism's key, folks. Realism's key, and we have a really good washing system for the trailer. It's fine. No one will be able to detect. Same trailer has been used for moving cow poop and digestate, anaerobic digestion, residue, and also milk. It's fine. Absolutely fine. The health and safety people will not be at all concerned. Don't worry. They're chill with it. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure some of the health nuts will love, the extra bacteria that's going to be in the milk. It's going to be great for their digestive systems and all that kind of bollocks. I suspect because I'm hot and tired, we might get a bit fruity with the language in this one. Who knows? Yeah, it's so hot. It's so hot here. And I've not run the AC unit in the spare room today because until I actually started recording, the temperature was tolerable. But, to record videos, I've switched on another computer and that's generating just a bucket load of heat. And then I switched on the editing computer to get ready to edit the video, and I went to copy the clips and realized that most of it was junk. So we're doing it again. Yay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to whinge a bit. Sorry about that. So, yeah. But I want to... We're going to load up slurry because we've got to drive up to the BGA anyway to pick up digestate. So we might as well load up on slurry. Anyway, I want to re-buy soil samples. But before I do that, I want to show you a feature. So we'll do it as we're doing the slurry digestate spreading. Yeah, so we've had an update as well. And I don't know if some of what I'm seeing is part of that update, but as part of the update, we got a cool new tractor added that I really enjoyed in previous iterations of the game. And eventually I would like to buy this. But we have the slight problem that before we buy this guy, let's keep that slurry going in, we need to buy something more like this guy. Because I want a big tractor on the farm. And I want something other than Deutz, because I buy so many Deutz. I've seen quite a lot of John Deeres moving around on the roads lately, actually. And that could be a function of the fact that I've done a lot of moving around on the roads lately as I cross the country backwards and forwards almost weekly. I've got a couple of weeks of not having to say that. No, I've got a week of not having to do that. And then I'm going somewhere different. And actually I've been doing a lot of driving last week. So if you were paying attention to my videos, I think I said that I was about 4 hours away from home in one of the videos that I recorded. I think that was last week. I got home on Friday from traveling. And then one of the reasons that there was a bit of another excuse for there not being so many videos in the last little bit was with, that's got a collision on it, was with the holiday weekend. Apart from that, because it was a holiday weekend in the UK as well, we had a bank holiday, was that this weekend I helped the teenager. She's not a teenager anymore, but she was when I started, and it's kind of started this content creation thing. She finished uni, and so I did a trip the week before to pick some of her stuff up, and she had guesstimated that what was left would fit in her car, and she had miscalculated. massively. And she was due to drive home on Thursday. She started loading up, had a massive panic attack. I had already said to her that if it doesn't fit, don't worry, I'll go up at the weekend and I'll pick the rest up with you. Because she was due to come home and go out on Friday night with Mrs. D. But she was having a massive panic attack on Thursday because she couldn't get it all in her car and she was running late and all sorts of stuff. So it's fine. We'll go up at the weekend. We'll pick it all up. On Sunday, we went up and we completely filled Mrs. D's car. She's got a big car. And yeah, so there's no way, however organized she had been, she would have got it in her car at all. Not a chance. And now our house is very, very full. In particular, the teenager's bedroom. I've not checked because she's not a teenager anymore. She's a young woman. But when we unloaded the car, her room was pretty full and pretty cluttered. Poor person. I'm not going to say kid because she's not a kid. We made use of some other storage space we have available to us because she was getting a bit distressed. She struggles with all of the neurodivergent things, and so yeah, she was getting very overwhelmed. So we have some other storage spaces we can use, and we made use of some of those so we could just get everything unloaded out of the car and stored away, so that she can deal with it in her own time. To some extent, she's going traveling for a bit, so it can just sit in storage and she can deal with it when she gets back. Yeah, so the weekend was pretty tiring actually doing that, because I got home on the Friday and then on the Sunday we did, I think it was not far off of 6 hours driving, maybe more. Well, I did a good 6 hours driving, and then loading and unloading the car on one of the hottest days of the year. Yeah. Which meant on Monday I pretty much flaked out for the day. My headaches don't do well with the hot weather. My body is pretty broken still. My shoulder is screwed up massively. Doing a day of, like moving stuff around was not good for my shoulder. I'm old and stupid because I just tried to ignore the fact that it was injured. I'm trying to go to the gym and work around it to strengthen the rest of my body around the fact that I've got an injured shoulder, because I think that'll be good for my body to generally make it stronger. I've got physio starting in a couple of weeks to try and help fix my shoulder. But yeah, so I spent Monday kind of crashed out playing video games, which we'll talk about in a bit. So yeah. But that meant I didn't really make content beyond Thursday last week with all the traveling and stuff. I've got a couple of normal-ish work weeks and then more traveling again. Anyway, video games. So if you didn't watch it, and I can understand if you didn't watch it, but although it got a reasonable amount of views, over the weekend, discovered, thanks to a random YouTube recommendation, a game called, I'm in the wrong place, Dead Stick, which is a flight sim. And it's a flight sim of like a bush pilot. So you're flying around a pretty basic type aeroplane. It's navigation through dead reckoning. There's no advanced instrumentation or GPS and that kind of thing. Supposedly reasonably realistic flight physics. I'm not a pilot, so I can't comment on that. It was fun to fly as someone who's not super into flight sims. Used to play flight sims as a kid/teenager, but like 30 years ago. But it was a flight sim I could pick up and play with a controller and have fun. And for me, playing games is mostly about having fun, depending on how I define fun, which is different for everyone. But it was a good fun game to play. It has a career aspect because you're trying to build up a business as a pilot who's delivering things and doing missions and jobs and stuff. But it was really good fun. I can understand if people didn't necessarily watch it. So this is actually jumping back. This is the problem I had last time. These roads seem to have got squishy. Now I don't know if this is the game update, if it's the map, if it's variable tire pressure. It seems to be affecting trailers. It affected this trailer. It affected the digestate spreader. I found, I'm going to test it actually while you guys are watching, and I'm then just going to get everything moved because it was a bit of a pain. I found with the slurry spreader, and it's not the case with this, that it worked better on some fields. Yeah, but I don't know what the problem is. And the slurry spreader was fine on the fields, and you'll see that in a bit. But it's a bit weird, and I don't know what's causing it and why it's a problem. But anyway, we seem to have found solid ground again. Yeah, but this flight sim was really good fun to play. It cropped up as a random YouTube recommendation. And that random YouTube recommendation was I think it was titled The Snow Runner of Flight Sims. And it was really good. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to get everything moved and I will see you in a bit. Okay, that was exactly what I expected it to be honest. You know, everything got a little bit bogged down. But I've got the tractor loaded up and in the field. I've got the tractor in place, and no, that's not what I wanted. I thought I had. Turn that off. I thought, no, stop. I thought I had the steering assist set up, but it seems to have forgotten that. So let's turn that on. I've got precision farming set to apply 70 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare, so that will be good. And we are going to refertilize the grass. And what I want to show you, we will see when we get to the other side of the headland. This is my second time doing this job, which is always fun. I love doing things more than once because of tech issues. Now, those of you that aren't familiar with precision farming, grass is one of the crops that is insensitive to over fertilization, so it doesn't really matter how much nitrogen we apply. I think it needs 60 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare to be perfectly fertilized, so I'm applying 70. That means everything will at least meet the minimum requirement. You can see bits of the field are already above that, and it's fine. It'll be okay. We are applying what is essentially a free fertilizer, so it doesn't matter that we're applying too much. It'll all be good. And as we run up this side of the field, observe the minimap. The minimap is behaving just fine. It's reacting to us applying fertilizer. We will now go into the map in game. We will bring up the precision farming menu, and I will show you that we are at a point where, now this is a good update to precision farming. The map is showing that we have outdated data and we need to rebuy the samples. The minimap's not showing that. It's really good that this map is actually behaving properly, because previous versions, and I'm going to buy the soil information for $3,000. Previous versions of precision farming, it would just fade out but still work. So, well done, Giants. You have improved part of how things behave in that the actual map, the data, stops continually updating. Well done. Good job. The fact that the minimap ignores that kind of sucks. You might hear in the background, I'm actually going to close the door. You might hear me close my room door. You might have been hearing the door bouncing against the chair. As I said, it's hot. I was trying to get some airflow going, but it's kind of annoying me. So yeah, well done, but do better. I don't know. It's kind of like a half fix, I guess. Yeah. And I'd noticed that last time when I did this, because it's take 2 of me doing this, because I'm going to blame me because I didn't realize I somehow had 2 copies of OBS open. That one's on me, but it was a bit annoying. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and be cognizant of the fact that we've used half a load of digestate, and when we finish this strip, I'm going to stop at the tanker and load up, so we're not the other side of the field when we run out. So we need to spin round anyway to pick up the other bit of headland, so we might as well stop here and hit fill, you know. I'm actually going to disconnect and reconnect and then hit fill. I'm hoping that way the dump message that's been at the bottom of the screen the whole time will go away. Yeah. So that's that, I guess. And a bunch of the stuff I'm talking about with precision farming, most of you, I'm sure, know, but I think sometimes it's worth not assuming. I've had that comment sometimes in my content that I assume everyone knows everything, and not everyone does know everything. So I'm trying to not assume that everyone knows everything all of the time. If you're sat there wondering, why is he telling us the very, very basics of how precision farming works? That's why. Because not everyone knows everything. Yeah, and that's that. I did the tutorial late last week. It was late last week for me. It was over the weekend that I released it, I think. It's kind of hard to keep track of time sometimes with how everything works out, particularly with kind of like being busy running around everywhere. It was really good. I really enjoyed making. Have I lost my... Yeah, I've lost my steering assist setup. I really enjoyed making that tutorial for adding stuff into the map. It was unusual in that it was a video that took me a really long time to make. It took me way longer to record than I thought. It was a much longer video than I thought, because when I did that process for myself, it was really quite quick. I think when I integrated it into the map that I was playing offline, it took me what felt like about 20 minutes. Now, I tried to do a more thorough, slower job explaining it, but that made it feel like it took me way long. It did take me longer, and then editing it took absolutely ages for me. Like editing this, it shouldn't take me very long at all. You're about to lose game sound for a minute because I just want to get that on the screen. Now I have broken. I need to take a thumbnail as well. That'll do. Yeah. This has been broken down into a few different clips because I've had to stop occasionally for different reasons. But depending on how many clips make the video up, it really doesn't take me very long normally, unless something goes badly wrong in the filming process, to edit a normal gameplay video. Editing that took me ages. It took me longer than the video actually was, because I watched pretty much all of it as I edited it. And then I had to do all of the bits to blank out bits that I didn't want to show in the files that I had open and stuff. Yeah, it was a pain in the... I've since thought that probably a better way of doing that is like showing the log file was annoying because... And some of you know my name, and it's fine. And if I was more sensible when I set my computers up, I wouldn't use my name as like my user account. But I don't always think of that when I'm setting the computer up, and probably a more sensible approach, and what I'm going to do in future is when I need to show a log file, I'm just going to edit it in advance and take that out and change it for something else, because obviously I can do that, and it would save me a lot of time in editing, and it would probably look nicer than having big bits blocked out. So yeah, that's something that I learned in that. It's been a while since I did a video like that. And sometimes I don't care. There are videos probably on my channel where I've not blocked that out. There are videos where I've shown the debug information in game, and it has that in it. I don't know. Sometimes I care, sometimes I don't. And my audience is much smaller now, and I don't know. But I don't know. Anyway, I enjoyed making that video. I enjoyed most of the editing process for that video, apart from the faffing around that I had to do. And I'm kind of looking forward to eventually Maze Plus coming. I have no idea when it's coming out. As I said in a couple of videos, that is the last video recently. I'm kind of detached from that at the moment. When life was very busy and very stressful with things with Mrs. D, I kind of drifted away from being heavily involved in the farming agency, and I've not reconnected with them. When I stopped doing streaming and stuff, I kind of drifted away, and yeah, I've not reconnected. And I've not really been paying attention to what Paul's been streaming in, so I have no idea what's going on there with where Maze Plus is and that kind of thing. I do dip in and out of the Maze Plus Discord because I'm a moderator on there and stuff, so I try and if people ask questions about things that I know, I will try and help and answer them, but I'm not super active on there. So yeah. But I'm looking forward to it coming out because it's a mod that I love playing with, and when it comes out I will do content on it, and who knows. Yeah, life went through a very, and if you've been around, you know, life went for me through a very busy, stressful phase, and I didn't have the mental bandwidth for dealing with other stuff. And I think if you understand some of the, this is not excuses, this is explaining. There's another famous farm sim YouTuber says, not complaining, just explaining, and it's not really complaining. It's not making, I'm not trying to make excuses. I am literally just explaining. Part of how my brain is, you know, like there's a persistence / presence thing. I'm like it with my friends in real life. If I'm not actively seeing / engaging with you, I have a really bad habit of not replying to people, or, you know, like not responding to messages and stuff. And it's the same kind of thing. Some of you will know. You send me things, I say thanks, I'll look at that, and then because I've acknowledged the message and I lose the notification, and I'm saying this realizing that there's a bunch of stuff I haven't done or dealt with or looked at and whatever, and it's because of this persistence presence thing, and it sucks. I was chatting to my boss yesterday, so I very rarely bring up neurodivergent stuff at work, partly because my boss is not great at dealing with it. He's older than me, he's close to retirement age. It's interesting, I learned yesterday that his daughter is neurodivergent. He probably is, but he's of the generation that doesn't really deal with it. And I was chatting to him about some neurodivergent issues relating to work. Not really complaining, just kind of chatting about issues. And we've got building work going on at work, and that causes me issues around noise and stuff. And we were chatting about random things. And he came up because he came up in conversation about the fact that I'm on a very long waiting list relating to some of this stuff. And I'm not sure where I'm going with this. And no, I'm not really sure where I'm going with this at all. So, anywho. Yeah, I don't know. Train of thought lost entirely there. But I think it was partly yeah, I don't know. No, train of thought gone. On a different note, something I do need to do is, so I have a new PDA to include in the map, and I haven't updated that, and I need to remember to do that. I also need to update some mods, and I keep forgetting to do that as well. But we'll get there. We'll get there, folks. Yes, on top of playing the flight sim, I've been playing another game which I think is called Professional Ship Simulator, which is another free demo that's available on Steam. I'm not 100% certain on that name. And I have in the past played a few nautical simulations or maritime simulations. Most of them I think are Microsoft based ones, and they've been very hit and miss, quite often very buggy. And this one is a game that I picked up because I'd seen something on it which said it was has very good physics. Now at the moment I've only played a bit of it, and when you start playing it they kind of spoon feed you in with a lot of the physics turned off. And I've not turned them all back on. I had turned them all back on when I started playing on Sunday, and then I found the flight sim game, and I haven't gone back to playing it yet because I haven't had time. But again, it seems really fun. It has some. It's in development again. It's a free demo, so it's still in development. But it has some graphical anomalies, which I'm hoping they sort. But from a gameplay point of view, it seems quite good fun. So I'm hoping that does well. It's one that's on my wish list. Not sure if I'm going to do a video on it. I did a video on the Dead Stick one because I thought it might appeal to a bunch of you because it's a simulator, and we all like games with simulator in the name, don't we? Like Farming Simulator, because it's a real simulator, folks. Yeah, so it's a fun game. But yeah, the ship one is quite good fun if you enjoy playing with boats. I've had a lot of fun playing it, I'm going to admit. The graphical glitches are not horrendous. You only get them if you kind of get in unusual situations, like you try and put the camera underwater and everything vanishes. Or if you go first person view, you end up in a camera where you can like see inside the head. Now it's not as gruesome as some of them have been, where you see like eyes and teeth and stuff, but you can see the inside of the hair and things, which is a bit weird if you look backwards. But it's a good fun game. It's a good fun game if you like boats and doing boaty things. If you don't, it's probably not a good fun game, but I found it fun. The flight sim, I really hope becomes available to play soon. I played a fair bit of it on Monday because it was a holiday weekend, and so I was off and I was recovering from all the traveling and stuff. I wish I'd had more time to play it, but I didn't, and it's kind of annoying now that you can't play it still. They've kind of switched off the test. I wrote some feedback on it for them because it was, so you gave me game to play for free, I give you feedback. And I made the video because I thought it would be, I'm going to make like a 50p out of the video, because maybe if I'm lucky, probably less because I don't get that many views on stuff. But again, it's like help promote game, and it's quite fun. some random person commented that they'd had the game in their wish list and taken it off because they thought the game was dead, and they saw the video and they added it back in. So it's like, yeah, I did my thing. I helped promote game. So I feel like I earned my free demo, and I think if it's available next time, I'll actually try and share it with you folks, because I think some of you will enjoy playing it, and you didn't have to do anything to get access to the demo. Apologies if I'm repeating stuff. As I said, it's hard to remember because I've made this video twice, but literally I saw a video on YouTube. I searched for the game on Steam and said, I want to play your free game, and it instantly gave me access to free game. So yeah, and it's fun free game. So I hope it comes back for more demo weekends. It's good. And we be done. So yeah. Said this forestry issue I had was weird in that I could not limb trees. If you've experimented with forestry recently and had that issue, let me know. If you have any thoughts on the other issue I had of things sinking into the ground, let me know. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members, and I will see you folks next time for something, because I don't know what I'm doing next time, but it'll be something in a tractor or something. Things. See ya. Top.